thank you so much for joining us this evening. We've just completed the State of the Province, and we're very happy to have the Premier here with us. Premier, how do you feel after delivering the 45th Annual State of the Province Address with the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce?
Excited. I think the opportunity is clearly in front of us, and I hope that I covered topics tonight that people look at not only as real, because they are, but also the opportunity for them to help make the difference here in the province. I've said from the very beginning that it isn't about any one government coming in with all the solutions, because in fact that won't ever be the case. It's about finding a way to demonstrate a better behavior politically, so that we can feel people will feel like they want to be part of a solution. And so I'm excited. I mean, this is obviously was a business audience and kind of the world I came from, so it made it maybe easier in that sense. Mm-hmm. But I know that in every corner of the province there are solutions, and I'm looking to find them.
So tonight you made a key announcement about the March 19th budget. How did you think that the audience responded to that announcement, and how do you think that the citizenry of New Brunswick will respond?
Well, I would like to think, certainly the audience tonight, it would be pretty important and a key factor in what they would hope to hear. So I think, but I'd like to think that same message across the province, because it's being relieved that finally someone's taking it seriously about how we spend the money that we're collecting through taxes. But I think the other aspect of this is the goal here from the beginning is that we do not want to downgrade, and we cannot afford to downgrade and pay another 30-40 million in interest payments. Mm-hmm. So the goal from the start with capital budget and then with this is saying, we are going to manage our finances appropriately. Mm-hmm. We're going to do what we would ask anyone else to do every day in their life. And you can't expect people to do things that you yourself aren't prepared to do. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get in this for a career in politics. I got in this to make a difference, but to help give people a voice in what's needed to turn our province and turn the corner. And I'd like to think tonight people felt that this was a beginning of a change for New Brunswick that's going to put us on the map in a positive way.
Mm-hmm. I do think the response tonight was positive, and the community at large hopefully will engage the same way.
Thank you.
What was the key message that you hope that New Brunswickers took away from the State of the Province address this evening?
Well, firstly, we have a sense of urgency. Interestingly enough, traveling around the province and meeting with various business owners, but also then getting in government and meeting with the different departments, there's a very common denominator here that we are severely lacking in employees in our province. And of course, it's most notable in the healthcare fields and in the educational fields. And then through the businesses, it's noticeable they just can't find employees mm-hmm. to work. And I talked about it tonight. Even with 36,000 people in social assistance, what opportunity do we have for training and breaking the cycle, and so people feel good about moving forward and see a future in our province? How do we break that cycle of parents saying, you got to go somewhere else to work? People say, well, I'm okay, I can survive, but my kids, they'll need to go somewhere else. I never had that view when I graduated. It wasn't even an option. I was considering to move outside of the province. I want to bring that back, and I think that people are leaving tonight with, we can fix this, and I'm excited about that potential. And so it's like I feel like we're all on a watch now, and we're all saying, I can't wait for someone else to do something for me. It's like, what can I do? So the whole theme about talking about the sense of urgency, fixing New Brunswick, not on my watch, and the not on my watch theme is we're all here, we're all watching. Mm-hmm. Let's do more than watch.
Mm-hmm. We all need to row in the same direction.
We do.
So you've now officially been the Premier for 83 days.
And counting.
What's been your biggest surprise, and what do you feel has been the biggest challenge?
Well, surprise would be probably related to the information that we learned, and related to the carbon tax mm-hmm. and the carbon plan that was put forward or not. It was known by the federal government, and basically the federal government had advised the province that the plan would not be accepted. There was this shuffling of money from one box to the other wasn't going to be accepted as a plan. So that was a disappointment that all this was known, and here we were at the 11th hour and inheriting a situation that had a clear timeline. So then the other part was that was kind of encouraging was the departments, and they'd worked on a carbon plan with different stakeholders, and it was in a good format. It was good. It just needed to be finished off, and we did that and submitted it. And the only real difference outside of what the federal government are looking for is that we don't believe in a carbon tax. We don't believe that we have to tax people more to ensure we meet our emissions. And the unfairness that we saw from one industry to another, because the baselines are all different. So that was a real big issue. I mean, of course, the issue around the Francophonie Games, that was a surprise, and that was something well known too, and so that was a concern. Those items were bigger ones, and then looking at the money that's been spent, and working with the department, saying, well, what did we get out of that? Mm-hmm. And not being able to get a clear answer. Mind you, that's what the budget process is for right now, and what we're going through. Mm-hmm. Where's the money been spent? So in the first 83 days, we reacted on some files. The WorkSafe was a big one to put that legislation in place, because those rates were getting out of hand, and we'll continue to do that. I want us to be not only seen, but to be felt by businesses, by individuals who ask a question of government. I want them to get an answer, and when I get a letter, I want people to go to the right department and give the individuals an answer, or call, or deal with it. But don't just send out kind of a template of a response. Mm-hmm.
When you talk about business responding to some of the things your government is doing and has done early in your mandate, how do you think being from the business background that you have has prepared you for this position?
Well, I think the career, of being having various exposures over 30 some years has been of great benefit. So not only in business acumen that basically you have to find ways to be creative and innovative in order to you just can't charge customers more money. So you look at ways to do your job and do it better, mm-hmm. like every business would do. Mm-hmm. And when people say to me, well, government's not a business, I say, well, it's not a business for profit, but it is a business to get better results. There's no excuse for us not to get better results every day in delivering service for the money being spent. And it's not a matter of just I need more money, so I'll tax somebody more. It's saying, why can't I do this differently, or why can't I do it better? And that's so the part of getting people trained, having a succession plan in government, just like you would in business. Mm-hmm. So another thing that I, came from the business world, I hired my replacement 3 years before I left. And we need to have that continuity in the system. People see their career path, they feel engaged to deliver, and it doesn't get thwarted in such a irresponsible way, one political party after the next. Mm-hmm. And we need to get on a program of continuous improvement, just like a business. Mm-hmm. So there's so many categories that you just keep building on each other's success. You don't just turf what the last one did and start again. And that sort of background makes me look at things very differently than most. And I never came here to get into this for a political career. I just see it's a mission that I feel like I'm on now with many others who have shown the same diligence, the same interest, the same conviction.
So I guess that leads me to what will be my final question. We've only got a couple of minutes left. What do you hope that your legacy will be as the 34th Premier of New Brunswick?
I am hoping that we have an organization throughout New Brunswick that are focused on common goals to build a better New Brunswick. So in other words, we see a healthcare system that's being continually monitored and with best-in-class practices. And governments, when they come in, they're presented kind of here's where we're going in healthcare, and here's why. Here's where we're going in education. These are the standards that are good. These are the ones that aren't working. And the departments take ownership for the results. I'm hoping we have a real succession plan in the system where people's careers are being developed and being nurtured like you would in any business. I'd like to think that the attitude that people have for the taxes they pay, they feel like they're getting a service level that is worthy of the money being spent. So they feel like I'm not irresponsible. Politicians aren't irresponsible. They're not blowing money out the door for votes. They're making decisions with facts. So I'm just trying to bring accountability in the system in real terms, and because it won't all get fixed in the time that I'm here, and the time it'll take years. But if we're on a path for improvement and we have very clear reporting structure so people outside see it, I'm hoping we get a whole different view of how we can participate together to get a better province. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for delivering the State of the Province this evening. Thank you for having this interview with me after the evening that we've had. And thank you to you this evening for tuning in and joining us this evening for the State of the Province address. Have a good evening.